Students everywhere see the world differently than adults. They aren't afraid of change. They know that life moves fast. They know that the 21st century will be about building bridges across cultures, not borders across nations. Cultural perspectives should be explored, not assimilated, and diverse viewpoints should be shared, not ignored. Students today don't just want a chair in the classroom, but rather a seat at the table. Why should class be teacher-focused when it can be learner-centered? We must build an environment where unconventional thinking soars. We used to say that content is king. Now they're discovering that context is key. The world is interconnected. So if all today's critical problems are global, why shouldn't the solution be too? Our way of educating in the past won't unlock the future. It's time for no distance education, everyone on the same page, no matter where their classroom is.
The iPodia idea is to open the classroom from any university for them to join together so that students can engage in peer-to-peer learning as a way to inspire global innovation. As people start to exchange those value information, and you can start to collect value, right? Yes? There's something here?
Oh, I was just going to say the same kind of premise applies to Cramster or other services like that.
Yes.
Where, you know, if you solve ever so many problems and everyone else ensures that it's correct, they'll give you access to other correct.
Now, any suggestion from PKU, NTU side?
Yes. Yes, there are many successful cases, but I still doubt. Why should I share my information to others? It didn't make any sense to me.
You see, this kind of information sharing is as such that for each individual, the effort is nothing. But collectively, that seems to become very valuable. Any question? Yes, go ahead.
But still, I have the question is, like Wikipedia. It is true that I did my little job and I get much. But even if I didn't do anything, I can still get the information, right?
You have an answer?
The reason why I personally contribute to Wikipedia is because we all have certain areas of knowledge that are our expert areas of knowledge, and in sharing that with others, I mean, I gain a certain satisfaction. And like you said, the biggest satisfaction comes from being like, oh,
I know better.
Wrong.
Yeah, I know better.
I'm more intelligent than random internet guys.
Exactly. Any input from NTU campus?
I think it's always, it's to some extent depends on the convenience to the access. Like the Facebook, actually, I didn't get anything from the Facebook. But it's easy to access, and the Wikipedia, I didn't need to do a lot of things to get to provide more information there. And it is a fashion as well.
We have the live audience here in the middle of South Korea Peninsula. We have 20 students located in Los Angeles. Here in this screen, and what you see is the 20 students from Peking University in Beijing, China. What you see here is another group of students from Taipei, Taiwan, from National Taiwan University.
iPodia has probably been my favorite class that I've taken so far at USC. It's not textbook based. You really get out of it what you put in. And I think my favorite part about the class itself, before we traveled to Taipei, was something that we had known as the cross-cultural exercises.
Personally, for me, I found it most rewarding interacting regularly with the NT and PKA students. Really think back, most of our learning doesn't occur simply in a lecture hall, but in working with our teammates, working with our classmates after the lecture, collaborating together, bouncing ideas off one another. And that was particularly true in iPodia. It was a class where interacting with the other students on a regular basis was highly emphasized.
We actually had, my team had a 4-hour-long Skype session during the semester, and we actually had about like half an hour discussing a project, but then afterwards we just ended up chatting. So it was a long session starting from 1 p.m. Taiwan time, which ended about 5. So yeah, that was pretty crazy.
When we were doing final presentation, we didn't know our topic was kind of changed until we went to Beijing. So we spent like 2 or 3 days without much sleep and just for the purpose of doing the presentation.
I definitely think it was one of the best choices I've made in college to take this class, as finally I had a class that wasn't going to teach me textbook material but was actually going to give me real life experience that I could take away with this. The most important being the cross-cultural experience that I've got.
So iPodia is different than any other course I've taken before, mainly because all the other courses focus on making me a good engineer. But this course focuses on making me a good communicator, a good leader.
And I was quite shy back then, and gradually I just tried to speak on my mind and try to communicate with them, and this is very special.
I think the most important part is the attitude. After taking this iPodia class, I began to pay attention to the details in my life, and I believe the greatest innovation comes from the details.
And I know just talking with employers, at the big 4 accounting firms or other business places, they're really impressed that I've had this opportunity to work so closely and communicate in a team-based setting with people from China and Taiwan. And they think that's a great experience, and it's really helped me in the recruiting process as well.
And moving on into the future, I definitely think one of the things that this class will help me with is working with others, not just students from China or Taiwan or Brazil or wherever in the world, but also people back at home.
What you learn depends on with whom you learn. And we want to make sure our students can learn with the best from the world so that they become the best in the future.